Welcome back to Grassroots Media, and welcome back to this week's edition of the Greeneville Federal Bank Eddie Spradlen Show, where we cover everything inside of Burley Stadium with the Greeneville Green Devil football team. As always, I'm joined here with head coach Eddie Spradlen. Coach, how you doing this morning?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Coming off of a win over Northview on Friday night. First trip up to Kodak to play on their turf. How was it this past weekend?
You know, a really good football team like we talked about before that, was going to present a few challenges for us. And we knew it was going to be a good game. We get down there and we play a really good game at a really nice facility. Right there you can see the mountains and everything. It was a nice place to play a Friday night football game. Really proud of how hard our football team played. Came out with a big region win.
And with that too, a great night offensively and defensively. We'll go into that. I want to talk about the offense, but first I feel like we need to talk about the defense. Barely allowing them to over 100 yards total. I think 104 and 66 of those were on one drive. Outside of that, you only held them to 38 yards the entire game outside of that drive. Talk about what was working well on defense and how you were able to scheme them up all night.
Really just the kids really playing hard. We got a lot of hats to the football, flying around, winning the line of scrimmage like we talked about, one of our keys to success. And I felt like we did that on Friday night. We probably missed a few more tackles than we needed to miss. The quarterback was a really good player who has really good speed, and he got out on the edge on a couple times. A couple times we had him in the backfield and he escaped. But really proud of how we played defensively. Had a big interception when we needed it on a drive, and hold them on 4 downs down there in the red zone. So overall, really proud of how we played defensively.
Not only that, but you were able to shut them out too, which I don't think anybody has done this year.
Yeah, it's the first time they've been shut out all year, so that was big for our football team.
And then 31 points on offense, 315 total yards. Carson Quillen had himself a night. 4 touchdowns, 33 runs, 175 yards. Talk about what was working for him well all night. Was he seeing the hole correctly and being able to bust through that? Was the blocking job done well? What was working well for them up front?
Also, one of another key success, we got to win the line of scrimmage on offense as well. So, I felt we did that for the most part of that. They have a really good defensive line. We kind of talked about that last week, I think. 2 really good, DNs, big guys that play hard and physical. So they presented a good challenge, but we were able to, get at the ball to Carson, let him make some big things happen. It was unreal windy during the game, so passing game wasn't probably as good as it's been in the last few games, but at the same time, we had some kids make some big plays for us.
And in that passing game too, Corbin did well, 8 for 14, 112 yards. Samples had 3 of those catches for 66 yards. He had over half of his yardage too on those catches. Were they working well all night on routes? Was he able to beat his man in the secondary? What worked well?
Yeah, a little play action stuff on some of that. And one of them that he catch, he runs really good routes. He was open on a slant one time, and he got some good yardage after the catch. So, really good scheme by our offensive staff against them. So really proud of that, and just really proud of how hard those kids played.
And with that win too, you move up to, I believe, is that 5-0 in the conference now?
Yes.
It's weird having 7 teams now.
Yeah.
You kind of have to adjust a little bit. But 5-0 now. There's another team in the conference sitting at 5-0. Both teams play this week. It's the big game. It's Greeneville. It's Elizabethton. That game will be Friday night. We've got that on the second half, though. We need to cut to a short break first, so we'll preview that in the second half right after these messages on Grassroots Media.
Pizza Inn's new Right Way Buffet is open and ready for you and your family. Now with new garlic buttery crust and stuffed crust pizza, along with salads and desserts. It's the best part of your day. The all-day, everyday buffet. Only at Pizza Inn Greeneville.
Tommy's Plumbing has provided professional plumbing services to the residents of Greeneville, Tennessee for over 30 years. Our experience and reputation have helped us grow our business to add locations in Jonesboro, Tennessee. Tommy's Plumbing is local and family owned, and we offer a full line of plumbing services, such as kitchen faucet, shower faucets, commodes, and bathroom faucets, as well as drain cleaning. We also provide outside plumbing work, such as septic and sewer drain cleanouts, as well as repair and replace. Tommy's Plumbing pretty much does it all. Tommy's Plumbing is licensed, bonded, and insured. Our quality workmanship and passion to provide our clients with expert service is second to none. We guarantee we have the best warranty around. For all your plumbing needs, give Tommy's a call at 638-3662.
Welcome back to Grassroots Media. Welcome back to this week's edition of the Greeneville Federal Bank Eddie Spradlen Show, where we cover everything inside of Burley Stadium with the Greeneville Green Devils. As always, I'm sitting here with head coach Eddie Spradlen. So we mentioned it right before the break. Everybody coming into this part knows what we're going to talk about. Everybody's been paying attention to that certain game since week one, hoping that it would come down to the region championship once again. The TSSAA anticipated this would happen, and they were correct. Coming down to week 11 here, it's Greeneville, it's Elizabethton. It's for the Region 1 4A championship. Talk about how excited you are for that matchup.
It don't get any bigger than this game, especially, we've played them the last 2 years. We played them, week 3. You want to say it's the region championship then, but you still got to win a lot of games after that. So now, it's at week 11, everything on the line, region championship, home playoffs, a lot on the line for a big-time game against 2 really good football teams.
You're going on the road, too, to play this game. That's something that I'm sure is a little more difficult to do, is play in Elizabethton. Talk about what you do when you go in to play in an environment like that.
We're going to keep, no matter the road game we go, we're going to keep our same routine. We're going to do all the same things that we normally do. We went up there and we've played good football up there the past 2 times we've played there, so exciting about that. But, it's going to be a big-time challenge. It's going to be a ton of people there. When it's for the region championship, last game of the year, this will be their 3rd home game of the year, so they got a lot of people that are going to be excited for another game. They want to pack that place out for sure, and so it's going to be a big-time matchup.
Talk about what you expect to see from them also. What are they going to throw at you when they're on the field offensively and defensively?
They're going to kind of play the same way we do. They're going to try to line up and run the ball at you, establish a running game to help open up their passing game. They got some explosive guys out on the edge that they want to get the football to in quick passing game stuff. Then they're going to take a chance and, hit you on a deep ball. So, big challenge for us defensively. Offensively, their defense is as good as anybody's. I don't think in any big game they've let anybody score more than 7 points. So it's a big-time challenge for us offensively. We've got to be able to win a line of scrimmage. They got a really good defensive line, one of the best DNs we've seen all year. So it'll be a big-time challenge.
That was one question I was going to lead into next that I don't think I've talked about with you any this year, is how are the lines going to match up with each other? Because that's a question that I usually don't ask, because in most cases you end up having the better line both offensively and defensively. This is one where you're going to match up well with them. They're going to give you a lot of fits on the line offensively and defensively. How well do you think you match up front with them?
I think it's a good matchup both ways. They've got a good big offensive line, really big. They're not pulling a bunch of guys, but they're, just trying to win the line of scrimmage by coming off the football hard with the big bodies. And their defensive line, their 2 defensive ends are really good players that are really coached good. They come off the ball hard. Their 2 defensive tackles, probably not as big as they've had in the past, but really physical guys down there that are trying to stop the run and, get something out on the quarterback.
For you, like you said, it doesn't get any bigger than this. It comes down to the final week of the regular season too. Do you feel like this is one of the more exciting and anticipated matchups between Greeneville and Elizabethton in the past few years?
Yeah, we've played in the playoffs, Aaron. 2 years ago that was, big time game, and then the year before that we played them in the playoffs as well. So, we've played 2 times the past couple of years. So, but this one for the region, like I said before, we're totally 2 different teams when we play week 3 to when we play in the playoffs round 3. So now you're playing in here, last game of the season. Both teams should be at their best, hopefully. So it's going to be like I said, a big-time matchup that everybody's wanting to see. It don't get any bigger for high school football than this game, and especially for East Tennessee.
Absolutely. And one thing, too, is not only is the region championship on the line, like you mentioned, home playoff advantage. You get that 1 seed. You don't have to play the 3, which is sometimes a big deal in some regions. So there's a lot on the line this game. And as always, too, at the end of every interview, what are your 3 keys to success that you need to carry out this week against the Cyclones?
One big one, we can't turn the football over. We got to be able to, if we got to punt on 4th down, we punt. But we can't turn the football over. We got to be able to, another big key that we always talk about, we got to be able to win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the football. We got to be able to run the football for us to be successful, and help us establish some of our passing game, the things that we want to do with it. And they're going to try to, run the ball, control the clock some. In some of these big games they've played in, they've, clock management's been really good, controlling the clock and long drives. So, we got to win up front and get, us off the field. We got to win third down. And then, one of the big ones is we got to be able to get in the end zone. They're holding people to not many points. We got to be able to, if we can get down there and get a field goal is good, but we got to be able to get some points on the board.
And it'll be an exciting matchup nonetheless. I think we've hit on almost every point we could. It's 7:30 and it's in Elizabethton this week. It's for the Region 1 4A championship. It's Greeneville. It's Elizabethton. It's the big one. It's the one that everybody's paid attention to all year and the one that everybody likes watching all year too, Coach. Best of luck on Friday night. Hope to come in here next week. Hope to have a championship to talk about.
Let's go Devils.
Absolutely. Thank you all for watching this week's edition of the Greeneville Federal Bank Eddie Spradlen Show. Look forward to seeing you next time here on Grassroots Media.